Hey everybody, I'm just going to show you a demo of the new Action Center I'm working on, just so you can see where it's at, how it works, ins and outs, little details, stuff like that. So right now I've got a tab called Action Center, but I'm probably going to have to move that somewhere, put it in one of these. I haven't figured that out yet. So I haven't done all the cosmetic looks, just more or less the functionality. So when you click on Action Center, you get stuff like recent actions, open actions. Open actions are only people who have access to stuff like that. But let's say I'm a regular user and I want to actually issue something, whether it's a request or a complaint. Like for a request, I could say I want to request a trade or I want my username to be changed, just stuff like that. So I'm going to issue an actual complaint. So, and then it asks me for a submenu. Okay, what kind of complaint is it? In-game management, yada yada. I'm going to do in-game. And then here it's okay, well, what kind of complaint is it from in-game? I'm going to say impeding progress because I've got this already set up properly. Oops. So in here you can add your own, we're going to have an option where you can add your own description of what the actual, what we're looking for, stuff like that. So every type of complaint has its own options. This one's basically considered an in-game option. We have to connect it to a game. So right away you can't just add stuff, you have to actually fill it out. So I'm going to say user blah blah space blah blah go Leafs. So alright, what league is this actually in? LGHL. So it's asking for what date was the game of this infraction. So I'm going to say this. So notice that this box actually fills out based on the date. So they're actually going to connect it to an actual game, so you'll have access to see the actual game. Now users, notice that it's pluralized, so you can add as many users into one complaint as possible. So I'm gonna add some guys on my team. The Leafs, Everett was one of them. Hawkster, good guy. So you can see every time I add somebody, it automatically creates, puts them in here. You can take them off. Hawkster, well, I can add them back. So submit, it's going to fail because I haven't checked this. So remember, it actually won't let you submit until you actually properly fill everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Action successfully created. So what it's already done now is anybody who's at the level of the notification of the user group is going to be notified. So I've set this to anybody who was a board of governors. So they would have got an actual notification. Now I'm not a board of governor, I'm higher up, so I can see them. So that's basically the level permissions. So now open actions. Now there's one new one. This is the one we just created a few seconds ago. So it tells you what kind of action it is. It's a complaint in-game impeding progress. I created a title. It's from Tristan. It's the LGHL. It's the NHL League. It's season 16. And then the infraction was week 6. The Maple Leafs versus Penguins. So status open. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to give us a whole new set of window options. So I'm going to scroll just so you can see. So right away you can see basic information. Here's what the user put in. If you want to issue a response, I've got a chat. So if you need to add comments and stuff like that, I'll be like, this was true, I saw it, or something like that. So same chat system, basically as team forums. I just kind of tied it in here. So as you guys are working on an actual complaint or an issue, you guys can comment on it, and it'll keep a trace of that. So now the other important thing to note is that because we are doing a system where it's multiple users, there's going to be different rulings for different users. So right away, here's the 2 users that were issued. I got the logo because it was the Leafs. I know who it was. I can remove users or add another user the same way the user did, in case you want to add somebody else to the infraction or remove somebody else from the infraction. So right away, it's going to say, hey, this is Everett. Any previous infractions? And then it's going to show all previous infractions in case in case it was a guy that's a repeat offender or anything like that. So it's going to say here's the other infraction. It was also an in-game impeding progress because that's the one I've got set up. But any other ones they would have done will show. It'll also show for multiple leagues. So be careful, because the whole idea here is I'm showing you information. It's up to you to properly use it. So I can see his previous infraction was the 5th, which is also today because that's another one I created. And it was week 16, season 16, NHL, etc. So in this case, this guy is a repeat offender, so I'm going to issue a suspension. So you're going to issue, let's say, 1 game or 1 week or whatever you type in here. So you could say 3 weeks or 3 games. So in this case, I'm going to give him 5. But this guy, I'm just going to pretend he's a first-time offender, so I'm going to say I'm just going to issue a warning. So when I hit update, what's going to happen is because all the users in the actual infraction are considered closed, it's going to close this one out of the open actions. Now, the other cool thing it's going to do is it's going to notify everybody involved. So because these guys are Maple Leaf guys, the actual Leaf management is going to get a notification to their mobile app as well as to the LG notification center. Now, I've set myself up as actual Leafs management, so I'm going to get a notification. So we're going to hit update. and it doesn't actually notify you, but it is actually done. There's my phone telling me it's just happened. So I'm going to get 2 notifications here because 2 of my members just got suspended or had an action. So it's going to say, hey, your player Everett was just issued a 5-game suspension, and then your player Hawkster has been issued a league warning. So if I click on one of these, it's actually going to go into the public area where you can see recent actions. So this is closed. Here's the game. And then here's basically the rulings that have happened. This guy's been issued 5-game. This guy's been issued a league warning. So everybody gets notified. It's public. If I go into league news, boom, here's the one that's just happened. These ones are older ones. Don't worry about that. So you can see Everett has been issued a 5-game suspension. This guy's been issued a league warning. Now, if I go in and actually look at their user profile, let me show you that. So I'm just doing it the long way to get in here. View his profile. So I'm looking at this guy, let's say years from now or weeks from now, I can actually see if I actually filter by the LGHL, I can see, oh, hey, this guy was issued a 5-game suspension for LGHL League 16. So everything's documented, everything's automatic. It does things to notify the proper people. Every action or complaint goes into a proper permission, so the proper people can edit it and see it. Pretty simple. So let me know how you think about this, guys.